Have you ever thought that a handful of nuts could slowly hurt your health without you even realizing it? As we get older, we try our best to make smarter choices. We cut back on sugar. We watch our salt. We even trade in chips for what we think are healthier snacks like nuts. But here's the surprising truth. Not all nuts are safe for seniors. In fact, some of the most popular ones might be silently damaging your heart, kidneys, or blood sugar levels every single day. In this video, we're revealing 4 common nuts that could actually be shortening the lives of seniors. If you're over 60 and trying to eat healthier, this is exactly the kind of information that can help you make better choices, ones that protect your body instead of accidentally harming it. Stay tuned until the end, because you'll not only learn which nuts to avoid, but also why they're risky and what smarter options you can pick instead. These insights can make a real difference in how you eat, how you feel, and how long you stay strong and independent. Let's get started. Number 1. Macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are often praised for their rich, buttery flavor, and they do look harmless sitting in a bowl or tucked into a trail mix. But behind that smooth taste lies something many seniors overlook: a high level of saturated fat that can quietly work against your heart. Unlike healthy, unsaturated fats that support heart function, saturated fats can raise LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, and increase the risk of clogged arteries. And this becomes even more dangerous as we age. Why? Because older adults are already more vulnerable to blood vessel stiffness, slower metabolism, and the natural wear and tear of decades of circulation. Add regular servings of macadamia nuts to that equation, and it's a setup for gradual silent damage. And the thing is, macadamia nuts don't come with a warning label. In fact, they're often marketed as heart healthy, but that label only applies in small, occasional amounts. For many seniors, that line gets crossed easily, especially when snacking becomes a habit and portions creep up without notice. Take Walter, 78. He switched from cookies to a handful of macadamia nuts every evening while watching TV, thinking it was a smarter choice. His doctor praised the change until Walter's cholesterol test came back higher than ever. They traced it back to his evening snack. It wasn't sweets anymore. It was saturated fat dressed up as health food. The truth is, macadamia nuts aren't evil, but they are dense. Just a small handful packs more saturated fat than some cuts of red meat, and for older adults already watching their heart health, that quiet overload adds up. If you're looking for something with crunch, flavor, and real health benefits, go for almonds or walnuts in moderation. Nuts that lean more toward omega-3s and less toward artery-clogging fats. Your heart works hard every day to keep you going. It deserves better fuel than what macadamia nuts sneak in. Number 2. Salted and flavored peanuts. Peanuts might seem like a harmless snack, something you grab by the handful while chatting with friends or watching the evening news. But once you add salt, flavor coatings, or those barbecue and honey-roasted blends, that handful becomes something else entirely. For seniors, especially those managing blood pressure or kidney health, this small habit can become a serious problem. What most people don't realize is just how much sodium gets packed into those flavored peanuts. Some varieties have as much sodium in one serving as a bag of potato chips. And unlike table salt, which you might add to food with awareness, the salt in processed nuts is hidden, baked in, and easy to overlook. Sodium overload puts added pressure on your blood vessels, raising blood pressure and forcing your heart to work harder than it needs to. For seniors, this can lead to swelling in the legs, fatigue, shortness of breath, and a higher risk of strokes or heart failure, but it's not just the salt. These snacks often include flavor enhancers, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives that can irritate your gut, inflame your system, and contribute to long-term health decline, especially if your body is more sensitive due to age or medication. Let's look at Marlene, 74. She always kept a jar of mixed peanuts by her recliner, salted, honey-roasted, and full of flavor. It was her go-to snack for years, but over time, her ankles started swelling, she felt more tired, and her blood pressure crept up despite her medication staying the same. It wasn't until a dietitian reviewed her pantry that the problem came into focus. Her healthy snack was loading her body with salt. She didn't even realize she was eating it. This is the challenge with flavored peanuts. They taste good, they feel light, and they're easy to reach for. But for older adults, they quietly do damage from the inside out. If you love peanuts, switch to unsalted, dry roasted versions. And even then, keep the portions moderate. What we eat casually, especially as we age, can either quietly protect us or quietly hurt us. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Number 3, bitter almonds. Among all the nuts out there, bitter almonds might be the most dangerous, especially for seniors. They look similar to sweet almonds, but the chemical makeup is shockingly different. Bitter almonds contain natural compounds that release cyanide when digested. And yes, we're talking about the same deadly cyanide that's used in poisons. Now, in the United States, bitter almonds aren't commonly sold in most grocery stores, but they do show up in certain imported products, homemade recipes, or even mislabeled health food items from international markets. And here's where the risk grows. As we age, our bodies become more sensitive to toxins, digestion slows down, and kidney and liver function are often less efficient. That means even a small amount of a harmful substance can have a stronger effect on an older adult than it would on a younger person. Cyanide poisoning from bitter almonds isn't just theoretical, it's been documented. Symptoms can include dizziness, nausea, shortness of breath, and in serious cases, even seizures or death. And since these nuts don't come with a skull and crossbones on the bag, most people don't realize what they're eating until it's too late. Let's take an example. Albert, 81, bought a bag of what he thought were natural almonds at a local international store. They were labeled in another language, and he didn't think twice. After snacking on them for a couple of days, he started experiencing fatigue, nausea, and lightheadedness. His daughter brought the bag to a pharmacist who immediately recognized them as bitter almonds, something that should never be eaten raw, especially not regularly. It's moments like this that remind us how easy it is to mistake natural for safe, especially as we try to move away from processed foods. Many older adults reach for traditional or whole ingredients, assuming they're harmless, but bitter almonds break that rule. If you ever come across raw almonds that taste unusually sharp or bitter, spit them out and throw them away. And always check the labels on unfamiliar products, especially from overseas, before adding them to your routine. Your body may be older, but your life still matters just as much, and protecting it means being careful with what you trust, especially when it looks too familiar. Number 4, candied and honey-roasted nuts. They taste sweet, they crunch perfectly, and they're often labeled as a better dessert than cookies or pie. But for older adults, especially those managing blood sugar, candied and honey-roasted nuts can be one of the most misleading dangers hiding in plain sight. What many don't realize is just how much added sugar is packed into a small serving of these treats. The shiny coating isn't just for looks. It's a concentrated layer of processed sugar, often combined with syrups or glazes that make the nut even more addictive. And for seniors, this sweet shell can create real damage. As we age, our ability to regulate blood sugar naturally begins to decline. Even if you're not diabetic, your insulin sensitivity can drop, making it easier for blood sugar to spike and harder for your body to bring it back down. Over time, this pattern doesn't just lead to weight gain. It increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, worsens inflammation, and puts extra stress on your heart and kidneys. And unlike sweets you might enjoy occasionally, candied nuts tend to sneak into your diet regularly, sprinkled on salads, kept in jars on kitchen counters, or served at gatherings where it's easy to eat handfuls without thinking. That's where the real problem lies. They don't feel like a dessert, but they act like one inside your body. Take Lorraine, 76. She thought she was doing something right by swapping her after-dinner cookies for a handful of honey-glazed pecans. But over time, she started noticing more fatigue after meals, a dry mouth at night, and trouble with focus. Her doctor checked her A1C, a measure of average blood sugar, and it had quietly crept into the pre-diabetic range. The only thing she changed? The nuts. And it's not just sugar. These flavored nuts often contain stabilizers and additives that your body doesn't need. Chemicals that can irritate your gut, interfere with digestion, and even contribute to insulin resistance. Here's what's important. Nuts in their natural state are some of the healthiest foods you can eat. But once they're coated in sugar, they stop being a healthy snack and become something much closer to candy. And candy, no matter how natural it looks, should be an occasional treat, not a daily habit. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts. Let's take a moment to step back and think. How many of these 4 nuts have quietly made their way into your pantry or your daily routine? You may have chosen them with good intentions, thinking they were a better option than chips or cookies. But as we've seen today, not all nuts are created equal, especially when you're in your 60s, 70s, or 80s. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Your body changes with age, and the things that once didn't matter much, like a little extra salt or a sweet snack here and there, can now have real consequences on your energy, your heart, and your overall health. But the good news, you're in control. Simply by knowing what to avoid and what to replace it with, you can protect your body without giving up the pleasure of good food. Instead of macadamia, try almonds or walnuts in small portions. Instead of salted or flavored peanuts, go for unsalted, dry roasted ones. Replace candied varieties with natural ones and enjoy them with fresh fruit if you want something sweet. And as for bitter almonds, stay away completely. These simple swaps may not seem dramatic, but over time they add up to real benefits. Steadier energy, better heart function, more stable blood sugar, and less hidden stress on your system. So, I'll ask you this. What change are you willing to make starting today? Is there one snack you've relied on that might be quietly doing more harm than good? Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.